Alright, everybody sit down and start to shut up. My name is Professor Jerk. And you're in Trainables, Atlanta 101? Hey guys, it's been a while since a Trainables, but I've had numerous requests for an Atlanta, a Flint, and I thought, why not knock out everything all at once? Now, this does end up being a Kraken, but it's hardly much of one worth mentioning, even if I do finish at the top, but you'll see. It is mostly a very predictable game, but it is a very good example of how to play these light US cruisers, and a lot of this translates over to any other US Navy ship with radar, because overall else, it is positioning. And in the case of the Atlanta, the positioning is pretty easy because, as you know, all of these shells can be launched on a SpaceX Falcon rocket up to the asteroid belt before falling back down, landing way back down here. And as you know, in Trainables, we get into a bit more of the technical side of things, so get out your Unicorn Trapper Keeper and start taking some notes. For this video, I'm using Shelly Beepley. That's why you can see the RPF indicator, and it is a stealth radar build, not that it matters in this video. But if I weren't using Ms. Beepley, I'd be using Dewey and still going with a stealth build. That's how I like to play this ship because my ultimate goal is to get into a position and essentially run zone control. Hold battleships and cruisers back with my incessant rain of HE, scare away destroyers with my radar, and if anyone decides to come at me, bro, I've got some short range but hard-hitting torps. Obviously, the torpedoes don't apply to some of the other light cruisers, and radar doesn't apply to some of the other ones, but overall, this is a pretty common theme of how to play similar ships. So the first thing that I want to cover in this video is where you should be, as that is a common mistake I see out there in video game land. I see Atlantas out in open water or off in some corner where they can't be nearly as effective. So if you turn your eyes to the minimap and you can see how I am fairly centrally located, and as if by magic, I'll show you the 3 best radar locations on this map. And that's really something you need to think about when you're in this ship. Where do you need to be the most effective? And there are islands like this on every map. They're specially designed for this type of ship. So be aware of that when you're doing your initial positioning, and you'll find great success. Again, fairly typical Atlanta gameplay. Not the most thrilling, I know. I have myself protected on all sides with terrain, and I just get to move back and forth shooting at any targets of opportunity as they become available. Overall, our team's positioning is not awful, but I wouldn't say it's good. And if you again look at the minimap, I will show you where I think these ships should be located. I'm okay with our cruiser down to the southwest, but if I could, I would tweak everyone else to cover a bit more and be set up for crossfires of the red team. Another point worth mentioning as well is that I can kind of understand why our destroyer is none too keen to push forward too much, as they are in an Orkan, so no smoke, and there are at least 2 Atlantas on the red team. So spotting works both ways. Being spotted isn't a death sentence. It's nothing worth just flipping out over. In this game, you're going to be spotted so much that the spotted icon will burn itself into your $3,000 OLED TV. I'm told. So, cruisers and battleships, don't blow your cool because someone sees you. Use your noggin to determine which direction you're spotted from, and if possible, spot those radar cruisers for your destroyers and let them know where it's safe for them to be. I'm sure the honor roll students in the front row noticed that my RPF indicator has jumped, and as such we know that something is moving. And because I'm in a stealth radar build, I know that from here, if I get spotted, I can radar the enemy destroyer. On the other hand, if they come around the corner just 4 kilometers from me, well then it doesn't really matter what my or their detection is, because what sort of goofball would come that close to an Atlanta? And I don't care if you're in a legendary tier destroyer, you do not want to be this close to an Atlanta, but I'm sure there was a plan. And they may not have known our Orkin was there, but even still, well, whatever. That's one. And we've got our injured Atlanta limping this way as well, so I might as well take care of them. Alright, that's too quick, so I should probably hotbox a cigarette, do a donut in the school parking lot, and then I can get right back to what we were doing before. Showering HE over whoever, whenever we can. And that's going to be this Massachusetts for the foreseeable future. Anyone who has ever been on the receiving end of an unwanted golden shower is going to be able to sympathize with that Massachusetts. Now, I don't have Equilibrium of Power on, as it's not an option with Ms. Beepley, but I wouldn't anyway, because these are destroyer guns, so I'm just looking to start fires on those battleships. And it'll take a minute for me to dial this in because these shots are so floaty, but once I do, it's just going to be an endless stream on that player. I'm not a big throw it in reverse proponent, but in this case, they should have just thrown it in reverse and repositioned somewhere else. We can see that this player is moving backwards, and then they're going to move forwards just anywhere they can to stop this hot and steady, sticky stream from raining down on them. And had I been feeling particularly cruel, I would have started single firing, because more than anything else, that becomes so incredibly frustrating and annoying to constantly be hearing shells hitting every single second, even if they aren't doing any damage. But for the sake of this Massachusetts, soon we will be able to stop. They're already dead. But we won't get this kill. And it'll be time to reposition. Alright, so here we have sat, and here we will continue to sit until someone digs us out, but no one is going to. And this is because the red team really didn't position themselves to take care of me. There is no reason a battleship couldn't have gone down to the southwest and shot me. I would have had to go silent because Atlanta has no armor and can get wrecked by just about any cruiser or battleship. But if people don't analyze their game and figure out why their team can't move forward and they themselves do something about it, well, you can't go blaming your team. Every game's outcome is dependent on you and you alone. It's always easy to point out what your teammates should have done, and they're no doubt doing the same thing. The trick is to examine what you could have done differently that may have changed the outcome of this match, because that's the only thing in your control. Now we switch over to AP. And I'm not really trying to yoink those, but if you saw that, I just did 5,000 damage and 1 AP salvo because they were under about 6 kilometers away, which means that the AP and on broadside is going to be doing some damage. Under 60,000 damage and 2 ships sunk from having the Kraken, I'm still full health, and so I'm willing to play a dangerous game. I've said in a previous video that your health pool are your fun points, and if you conserve them, they allow you to go for a fun, if dumb, move when you really want to. And I really want to because I want to pick up this Kraken. I'm going to maintain my island cover to shoot at those that I can for as long as I can, but pretty soon, it's just going to be YOLO time. The match is just about over, and there's only going to be 2 ships left any moment. Again, accidental yoink, not necessarily trying to. I am just shooting at whatever I can at this point. So that's going to be the Siegfried. I think, if I remember correctly, the Siegfried gets wrecked. Wow, I guess they're not really getting wrecked, but I am doing some pretty serious damage to them, but somebody else is going to get that kill right there, so I'm thinking, alright, well, let's get to this Helena. And we're going to get it with AP. Not that we really needed it, but yeah, there's crack at 230.
The ship is on fire!
Okay, so there's your lesson on the Atlanta. I want to see what you've learned put to good use out there, just not on me. A reminder, this class is pass-fail. Hit like to pass, hit dislike to fail. Questions, comments, and my office hours are down below. And to secure your seat up front for the next one, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll get back out there for another one soon, and we'll talk